In the news this week, the Royal College of Physicians abandons its stance against assisted suicide. Stonewall pressures Westminster to impose same-sex marriage on Northern Ireland. And Open Doors reveals a dramatic increase in global Christian persecution. Hello. The Royal College of Physicians is to poll its 35,000 members on their stance on assisted suicide. The group will ask doctors whether they think the current protection should be removed and if they would be willing to actively participate in the deaths of patients if the law changed. While it has previously been officially opposed to assisted suicide, the college now says it will adopt a neutral position. Critics say the shift signals inferred support. Alistair Thompson, spokesman for the campaign group Care Not Killing, said the move is very worrying and warned that changing the law is a slippery slope.
If you look at the four countries, or the two countries, Holland and Belgium, and then the two states in the US that have legalised assisted suicide and euthanasia for some time, what we see is a massive expansion of the conditions that meet the eligibility criteria for people to kill themselves or be killed, and safeguards massively eroded. For example, in all of those jurisdictions, we've seen mentally competent adults expanded to include people with dementia, people with psychiatric disorders, and actually worst of all now, in Belgium and Holland, we're seeing non-mentally competent children being euthanized.
Hospitals are allowing male patients to share female wards if they self-identify as women. The Daily Telegraph found that NHS trusts do not require patients to have begun a physical transition for them to be treated as their preferred gender. At least one NHS trust would allow children to share single-sex wards with members of the opposite sex against the wishes of their parents. The Department for Health has been reducing the number of mixed-sex wards, and MP David Davis said people with male bodies should be on male wards. Dr. Nicola Williams from rights group Fair Play for Women agreed. In an attempt to accommodate a minority, the state is sacrificing the needs of the majority at their most vulnerable. Stonewall has joined with groups including Amnesty International and the National Union of Students to ask Westminster to impose same-sex marriage on Northern Ireland. The organisations issued a statement praising Westminster for promoting LGBT lifestyles and urged politicians to directly intervene in the province. The Northern Ireland Assembly rejected motions to redefine marriage 5 times between 2012 and 2015. Despite the absence of devolved government, Secretary of State for Northern Ireland Karen Bradley reiterated that marriage should remain a devolved matter that should be addressed in the NI Assembly. The Christian Institute's Northern Ireland officer Callum Webster said Stonewall is trying to take advantage of the current political instability in Northern Ireland. But MPs should not be abusing the absence of a devolved assembly to impose such controversial and divisive legislation. And finally, politicians have been informed about the growing problem of Christian persecution around the world. At the parliamentary launch of the 2019 Open Doors World Watch List, MPs heard that there are now 245 million Christians suffering high levels of persecution. This is 30 million up from last year, a shift that Open Doors CEO Henrietta Blythe called a shocking increase. Foreign Secretary Jeremy Hunt spoke at the event.
I think it is an extraordinary figure that nearly 250 million people are suffering persecution today because of their Christian faith. It's also extraordinary to think that 80% of people who are suffering persecution because of their faith are Christian. I want Foreign Office ministers, when we're interacting with countries where there are these issues, for it always to be high on our list to raise with our foreign minister counterparts, whether in private or in public. And I also want those people suffering this terrible persecution to think that there are people who understand what they're going through and are sincerely trying to do everything they can about it.
Well, that's all for this week. For more information and regular updates on all our stories, plus much more, visit our website at christian.org.uk. Until next time, goodbye.